thinking that we could also have it as you're kind of like joining us in like halfway through the conversation kind of thing.
Right.
So it was just kind of like, okay, oh, hey, how's it going? But yeah, so I had the studio. I don't know if you ever saw my studio on Elm Street. So it's about this size. It was about half the size, and it had like walls protruding out in certain areas. So it was kind of like hard to have the lights and the cameras. And so I just recorded with this. I would just set this up right here like this with a tripod, and it records both people. So then I would just, when you go on the computer, you can actually, select this angle, then select that angle, you output both, and then you edit both together. But the downside is that the quality of the camera is not as good. So that's why we decided to go with these instead. And they have gotten better. They have some really cool ones now. But yeah, it also takes a long time in post to like export because it's a massive file that's like all around 360. So it takes a little while to get into it. And so yeah.
It's a nice setup.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no. So
what kind of things were you doing over there? Like what?
So when I was there, I was doing I was doing kind of like what I did for you. Kind of like we talk to clients, we figure out what kind of communication strategies they need. And, so I had people needing to do a photo shoot. So we would go and set up the space. You pull up the backdrop, set up like a little tabletop, and then you take some nice pictures of their product. Maybe do some portraits, maybe do some interviews. So we did a little bit of everything. And, we also did like social media planning. So we would just sit at the desk and just try to come up with like, right, how many posts should we do a week? And figure out what those posts were based on the audience and what the brand is all about. And then you would schedule all those out, and then that would go out and publish or whatever. So yeah, but then we were running low on space, and we're like, all right, we need something a little bit bigger. We saw this on Main Street, and we were like, all right, let's just try to see what we can do with it. And now we've had other photographers come in here and use the space. We've had meetings like we did with the chamber.
That was great.
So
it's a versatile space.
Yeah.
It seems like you can really change it up.
And it's very modular. So as you can see, we have like a different background behind me. There's a different background behind you. We have like a little that can be changed into different things.
Yeah.
And then we also have the backdrops, we can change it into different colors. And then we can set it up like a podcast studio like this. We can then where you have multiple angles going on. So the funny thing is I just finished recording a tour of the studio yesterday.
Okay.
So that's going to be going out next week, and I'm going to be showing people what the whole space looks like and all the stuff.
So is the idea that you would do like you do something on like a weekly basis or monthly basis, or just creating content or something like? Are you looking to like do a channel or something?
Yeah, we all want to be influencers nowadays. No, but the more you look into it, the more people tell you like SEO is going to be changing quite a bit. For those who don't know, search engine optimization. And, now with AI, it's going to be giving you the answers right away instead of like trying to find like a blog post or something like that stands out on the SEO or whatever. So one of the things that people are doing is, creating a lot of YouTube videos, because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world behind Google. So people are trying to find something, they're going to find a video of it. And instead of reading a blog post about how to do something, they'd rather see a video for it.
No, it's so true. Because just in the little things that I've done, right? Like I was trying to tie a knot the other day. Like I had a big rope and a small rope, and was trying to figure out how to tie. And I Googled it, but the thing that came up was a video. Was the very first thing was a video of how to tie this knot, and it's called a sheet knot, right? So like I get it. Like that totally makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I was also thinking on my way over here, that as far as Cornwall goes,
by the way, I love that you're doing this because it makes it seem like you're running the interview. So this is fantastic. So go ahead. I love it.
Yeah. Well, on my way over here, I was thinking, like what a great resource to the community as well. Because yes, we have the Cornwall Local, but I was thinking about, there isn't really a central location anywhere to go and get updates on what's going on in town other than the newspaper, right? Which comes out once a week. And even online, like Facebook or Living in Cornwall or things like that, you're still having to scroll through. There isn't like one place that you could go, right? And like either, I don't know. I was even thinking about like, oh, maybe you would have the local high school sports review or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or interview the coach. Or
I
don't know. I was thinking, oh, that's kind of cool that Oscar's got this little studio here. And
that's something to think about. Maybe I'll reach out to the local and be like, hey, we're gonna have like a local minute or a little like weekly digital podcasts talking about what's going on in town.
Well, Mary Jane Pittman, I mean, she's great. Like, she's open to anything. I think. I mean, me working with her, like I send her ideas for articles all the time, or just summaries of the things that the chamber is doing, and she's so receptive. So yeah, you should definitely reach out to Mary Jane. You know her? Do you know?
Yeah, she's great. I've sent her a few pictures and news clips about my son mountain biking and doing crazy stuff. So Mary Jane will reach out to you, and we'll talk about doing something together.
Yeah.
But speaking of the chamber, you are the local president of the local Chamber of Commerce. Tell us a little bit about what the chamber does and how you became to be involved with the chamber.
Yeah, so I got involved shortly after opening up my business back in 2017. Like most businesses, your new businesses, when you're starting out, you're trying to make connections. And I had gotten involved with the Orange County Chamber of Commerce, but there was something about really getting hyper local. And when I found out about the Greater Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, I joined and went to the first meeting, and I actually found that there was, not to take anything away from the Orange County Chamber, but the connections that I was able to make first starting out, being hyper local, were really valuable for me as a new business owner. So that kind of got me, into the chamber. And then, probably like 2018, I think it was 2018, I was asked if I was interested in joining the board of directors. And
so they roped you in pretty quickly. A year in, it's like, okay, let's do it.
That's we're kind of known for that, So I joined the board. I was filling somebody else's position, so that was in 2018, maybe early 2019, I think. And so then I, very active with the board, sat on a number of committees, and then became president. Now it's been a year and a half. I'm a year and a half into a 3-year term as president.
So let's talk about being, because you could have said no, first of all. So it takes a special kind of person to kind of be able to, like, all right, yeah, I want to help out the community. I want to do special things. What is it that kind of like drives you to want to do like good things for the community and get involved in like the local government or the local chamber to try to help things out? Like, what is it that drives you to do that?
Yeah, well, you and I have had this conversation before. When you were helping me with my business and getting us off the ground and stuff, we had a lot of this conversation, and in those conversations, it's really kind of been ingrained in me and my core values, right? It started from my parents, and my grandparents were givers, and we had, it was always just this core value instilled in us to serve others, right? My grandparents, both my grandfathers were in the Marine Corps. I joined the Marine Corps, and so service has always been kind of ingrained in who I am, and serving the community, serving others. So that was part of it.
That's very nice, because a lot of people talk a lot of times about, I want to do different or whatever, but taking the initiative to actually do something and make it better, that's always commendable. So I appreciate you doing that. Now, tell me, so you were kind of like starting to become involved in the committees, a little bit more involved with the chamber, and then the opportunity to become president came around. What made you want to take on that responsibility, and what's your vision going forward now that you're in charge? You've done that for a couple of years now, right? So tell me a little bit what it feels like stepping into those shoes, and what kind of things you're excited about when you do that.
Yeah, so I think I think it started really back in like 2019 when organizationally we were, as a board, we were led by Joe DeVosh, who was our president at the time. We were going through a whole strategic development process, right? Really looking and revising our mission statement, core values, and objectives. And so we went through that exercise as a board. I went through that exercise as a board member in 2019, late 2019. We were going through that process, and I like that process. And opportunities to create new things, right? Revise, look at our processes, look at our mission, our vision, things like that. And then it was a great process that we were going through. And then COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
So
the famous word.
Yeah, exactly. So we had gone through all this work. We had created we were on a path with a new mission, objectives, values, things like that. And then COVID hit, and we were basically like shut down for a year and a half, 2 years.
That's when I came in. I came in right at COVID. So right when March 20th happened, I was like moving into my office. And I was like, this is perfect timing. And one of my whole things about my business strategy was like to get out to more social events and go out and meet people, join the chamber.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we were like, yeah, no, we can't do that anymore. But I still joined the chamber. And you guys actually still held some events outside. I remember going to Black Rock, I believe, and having some events there. So talk about a little some of those challenges. We're still trying to like carry on what the chamber does through a difficult time.
Yeah, you know, it really was a difficult time for us, and you know, we had just like most businesses, right? Like it was a big hit to our balance sheet because we couldn't do events, and events are our main way of getting new members. It's our main way. You know, the fall festival is our main fundraiser that really impacts our balance sheet the most, and we weren't able to do that. So we really kind of shifted to, you know, we were in this kind of expansion and revitalization mode, but then all of a sudden COVID hits and we're in like survival mode. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so but I'll be honest, like I think we came out of that, you know, a stronger organization, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit leaner coming out, but I think we're a stronger. Just like most businesses that made it through the other side, we're all a bit stronger because of it.
Yeah, and we talked about this before. We're going to talk about it here. Is that sometimes people question like what the benefits are of the chamber sometimes, and they don't see like the full benefits of it. They're not obvious a lot of the times. But for me, there was a lot of benefits because you guys continue to do some events here and there. I was able to meet different people that were interested in the business that I was kind of providing, and I made some really good connections that way. So, and you know, some people were like, oh, but I wish I did this, I wish I did that. Well, once you start being an active member of the chamber, you'll see a lot of the benefits that they have to offer, the connections that you can make that can be long-lasting, and you can also see how you can make a difference to try to make things a little bit better. One of the things that I've noticed recently is that we've had a lot of cool businesses kind of coming into Main Street. We've had like, you know, the coffee shop came in around that time, the Woodsman, then we had the farmhouse market, we have the Brafit. So the Cornwall's like a thriving little Main Street that's kind of like evolving little by little. We had the bookstore, good books. I came up with Dugu Studio first. I just want to make that clear. Jason, I don't know where you got good books, but you know, I came up with Dugu Studio first. And so that it's been exciting to see that. So why don't you talk a little bit about the growth that's been happening versus what was going on before? Because if the Cornwall had a little bit of a stigma of like being a hard place to do business, and how the chamber and people are trying to kind of flip that to try to make it more enticing for the business to come here.
You know, I think it's really interesting because, you know, it's different perspectives, right, that people have with the town, right? And some people will say it's hard to do business. Some people say, no, it's not hard to do business at all. So I think it's just different perspectives. But again, going back to the change or maybe the shift in dynamic, and you know, we did have a number of new businesses open up during COVID. And just like I was saying before, the chamber came out of COVID, I think, better and stronger. I think the town of Cornwall came out of COVID better and stronger, right? You know, we had
so many people moved in. I mean, it was the amount of people that just moved in was crazy.
Yeah. You had, you know, a lot of people were coming out of the city, coming up and hiking on our hiking trails, you know, visiting our main street and seeing what a lovely, beautiful community we have, and visiting our businesses, and then even people moving up here and then starting businesses. Right?
Yeah.
So I think there is this common thread in COVID, and that, you know, yes, it was a difficult time, but coming out the other side, I think it's made things a lot stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's also one of the cool things that I like about the chamber is that you guys come up with like different events, and it's been growing through the years. Before, like you said, you had the fall festival, and then there was like a recycling program. But I feel like now it's been growing a little bit more. We have the car show in town that's happening. We also have the fall festival. There's the second Fridays that were being implemented throughout the summer. So we have like a little bit of a art on Main Street. So let's talk about some of the events that we have coming up and why people should be excited about it.
Yeah. So the fall festival is kind of our main event. It centers around everything, but really what we're trying to do, you know, coming out of that strategic discussion that we had back in 2019, and then that evolved 2020, 2021 through COVID. Coming out was really to say, how do we want to engage with, what is our mission, right, as an organization? And our mission is to support successful businesses for a successful community. And then we start to ask the questions, how do we do that? And one of our pillars is community engagement. And so then taking that one step further, so what does that mean? And that's where we come to, okay, the fall festival, that's very successful. You can't do that every week or every month, but what are some other things that we can do?
We could do it every season. So we could have like a spring, like a winter one, like
it's been brought up actually. And so what we've tried to do is take baby steps in those directions, right? So I think one of the first ones that came out of an offshoot was the Spooktacular, right, for the Halloween, and very family oriented. And the idea is, how can we get people in the community to come out to Main Street? Then also, how can we get visitors from other communities to come and visit our shops on Main Street, things like that. So that was the Spooktacular. But then also, what are some other opportunities to, again, give back to the community? Because that's also part of our mission, supporting successful communities for supporting successful businesses for a successful community. So the Recycle Day, this is a partnership with the town to allow residents to come in, get their shredding taken care of. That's coming up, actually. Allow me to pitch that. That's going to be Saturday, June 15th. So thank you. So come out.
Pitch away. Go right ahead.
Yeah,
people need to know.
Bring all your bank documents that you need to have shredded, personal documents out. We will receive
even electronics, right?
Electronics as well. Also, I'll give a shout out to Rich Massimi and Vales Gate Cleaner. They'll have a truck there collecting old clothing that they'll collect, they launder it, and then they donate it. It's a fantastic service that they do. And so then I also will have we're partnered also, and then have invited the Cornwall Cleanup Crew, which is another great community group. They're going to be coming out. They'll be there at our event as well, and we're going to be helping them raise some funds, and you'll have an opportunity to donate to all the great work that they're doing.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, we are also trying to partner with other organizations to make the events more collaborative, right? We want to be more about the way that we see ourselves as to achieve that mission of supporting successful businesses for a successful community. This idea that these two things, they're concentric circles, right? Like they go hand in hand. You can't have successful businesses without successful community, and you can't have a successful community if you don't have any businesses or successful businesses, right? So collaboration is a core value of ours. And so that's one of the other things with regards to our different events is we're always trying to pull in partners, pull in collaborators, or find folks to partner with to enhance their program or their event, right? So another example of that is the upcoming car show. Again, a pitch, May 25th, Saturday from noon to 4 over at Town Hall and the park there. The library approached us and say, hey, we want to get involved with the car show. So they're going to be opening up the library. They're going to be showing cars.
Nice.
So if you bring out your family and the kids are getting tired or thirsty, they can head into the library and cool off or watch a movie. They're going to be doing games and handing out prizes for the kids.
I don't think I knew that. That's good. Yeah. That's a good piece of information to know. I mean, I think probably people didn't know about it.
Yeah. So, again, it's just opportunities to collaborate with the WOW.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Before we continue our conversation, let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of this podcast, A&R Concrete Products. A&R Concrete Products is a family-led precast company located in the Hudson Valley region of New York. A specialist in crafting custom catch basins, manholes, wind walls, box culverts, and pump stations, they offer a variety of precast solutions. Their facility is backed by approvals from key authorities, including the Department of Transportation in New York and New Jersey, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and the Department of Environmental Protection, affirming their commitment to excellence. In addition, they are a National Precast Concrete Association certified plant and maintain strict industry protocols. So if you're planning a project that demands nothing but the best, give A&R Concrete Products a call at 845-562-0640 and tell them you heard about from this podcast. Now back to our conversation with Scott. So speaking of collaboration and engaging with the community and having that symbiotic relationship, something that came out of like some of the social media that you guys were doing last year. You guys were asking for people to give in like a new logo. You were doing it to do some rebranding, and you were looking for somebody to do a wall for right next to the Bernica building. You guys have recently gone through a new brand, a new fresh coat of paint, let's per se. Talk about how that came about. We have something to do with it. That's why I'm bringing it up. This is my pitch now. And so talk about like how that came about and how was the process for you, and what was the final outcome?
Yeah. So again, it came out of this process that we had been going through with, refining our strategy, refining our mission statement, really asking ourselves, who are we? What is it? What's our purpose, right? Why are we here? And so then once we had done that, we were really looking at our identity, the visual identity. And what we found was that our previous logo, it really, we had a hard time using it in different formats, right? Digital has become, as you know, like that's where everything's at. And our older logo, it was difficult to play in different digital realms. So we started to ask ourselves, hey, maybe we need to do a rebrand. Maybe we need to look at a new logo. And so then we put it out there to our members. Like, we have an amazing amount of talent in this community.
Absolutely.
And so we put it out there to the community, say, hey, we're looking for a new logo. If you're interested in helping us out, you can submit ideas to us. And then you and Jason came to us and say, hey, look, this is what we do. This is our business. We'd love to help. And pro bono wise, you kind of took us through the process and helped us create the new logo.
Yeah, no, it was a fun experience because, for a long time I had seen it and I felt, it was a little bit outdated, having created a long time ago. But it wasn't just about the logos. We had conversations as we were going through the process that people didn't even know that some events were being ran by the chamber. So you guys weren't even getting the credit for some of the cool things that you guys were doing around the community. So it involved, creating a new logo, a new style, coming up with the right colors, the right fonts, just with identifying features so that people would know that you guys were behind these things, even without even looking at a logo. Let's say there was a poster and you're just like, oh, that must have been the chamber, because people get used to it, start recognizing it. So there was like a whole approach. And yeah, with Jason and Sam, we kind of went through a whole bunch of different ideas, and we had some great meetings here at the studio. And, I think at the end, we came out with something really cool, something fresh, something unique, something that's going to stick around for a while. And it's been great seeing you guys implement that. Even you guys created like a new site and everything. So what has the reception been like so far?
Yeah, I think it is, to be honest, like there are mixed reactions, right? Because just like
Cornwall, I mean, Cornwall has mixed reactions about everything.
But I think in general, though, right? Whenever there's change,
right?
Changes. Most people don't like change, right?
Right.
And so you're going to have different reactions to different things, right? But in the end, I think people get used to that. And the change was necessary because the older logo, it wasn't working for us for what we needed to do moving forward.
Right.
So it has been some mixed reactions across the membership, but again, I think we've tried to we did incorporate a lot of feedback and things like that with everyone. And the reality is it is a cleaner look and feel, and it does allow us to play in a wider range of media, which we need to do in order to, achieve our communication, strategies and communication objectives.
Sure. Now let's talk a little bit about long term. Like, what are some of your visions going forward for the chamber? Where do you think it could evolve to? What are some of the things and programs that you like to event, and how can we help the chamber get there?
Yeah. So I'm glad that you asked that question because, it is, again, going back to 2019 when we started to lay out kind of this refined strategy. And again, we asked that question, what's our purpose? Why are we here? And it always kept coming back to the same thing, right? It's for the community. We're here for the community. and for our businesses, for the community and the businesses. So this first step with the expansion of our different events that we've been doing and things like that is very much in line with our mission, right? And very much in line with engaging the community, also to enhance our businesses by engaging with the community and bringing people to Cornwall. I think the next level up now is really to begin to offer our business members, development opportunities. Like I was saying before, we have a tremendous amount of talent in this community. I mean, we've got, people who worked in, Fortune 500 companies. We've had people who worked on Broadway. There's just a tremendous amount of talent here. And so how can we start to connect those folks together to kind of level everybody up, right? Yeah. And then, so I think the networking piece, right? Trying to bring those different people together to benefit our membership is one of the next kind of things that we want to do. And then after that, I do think it is about business development. Then how do you help businesses become better at what they do, right? And again, going back to the talent that we have within our organization, to share those talents, to bring businesses together, and get people to feel comfortable sharing some of their issues that maybe they're having with their business, that they want to try and optimize and improve, and then the chamber helping them to do that, right? So maybe putting some sort of business development process in place where we could come in, help audit a business on, not financially audit, but audit like what's working, what's not.
Sure. Yeah.
And then again, with the talent that we have, collaborate together to help businesses take their business to the next level. I'd love to be able to do that. And
yeah, like you mentioned, there's a lot of talented people all around Cornwall. I think one of the tricky parts for the chamber sometimes has been getting enough engagement from the community being involved in the chamber itself. I think if we can just get people out there to just come out to a few meetings, see what it's all about. Like you said, developing programs where they can come out and learn something different in that session, whether it be bookkeeping in one session, whether it be advertising in another one, whether it be supply chain issues in another meeting. Creating that value, I think, will really make the benefit, the membership grow, and also get people excited about the next event. Because I think one of the things that used to happen sometimes is that you kind of like, you go to a meeting and then you kind of like, okay, I've been to this meeting, I've been to several meetings before, it's kind of like the same thing. So I think when we start adding value like that to the chamber, hopefully we can get some of those people that have those incredible knowledge, incredible expertise to be able to share with everybody else, and then we can bring everybody up at the same time. So that would be great to see.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think people don't realize, because whenever you tell people, oh, I'm from Cornwall, I live in Cornwall, they're like, oh, where's that? I think people, it's been described as a gem that nobody knows about. It's kind of like in the Hudson Valley, people don't know. Tell me some of your favorite things about Cornwall and what makes it special that people should know about.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I've told this story to folks because I'm new to Cornwall, right? I mean, I've only been here since 2017. My wife is from the Hudson Valley, but we're from kind of all over, right? Like I said, I was in the Marine Corps, and then I worked for a large multinational company where I was moving every 3 to 5 years. So we've lived all over the world, and it came to a point where we were like, okay, this is it. This is going to be our last move. We got to find our forever home. And we were living in Seattle at the time. And basically we wrote out a list of all the places that we've lived. What did we like or didn't like about those places? And we put them down on a piece of paper. And then we just, started looking for that place. And it started with Google Earth, believe it or not. And what my wife and I, we love the outdoors. We love hiking, biking, taking our dogs for walks. We love being close to the water. Well, at the same time, we want to be close to cultural centers, cultural activities. And so we started from Google Earth, and we knew we were going to move back to the Hudson Valley. So we started along the shores of the Hudson River. And we were looking for kind of a little, like a little town surrounded by mountains or surrounded by green space. And we started zooming in, and we found Cornwall, which was kind of like surrounded by, we have the river on one side. We've got the Storm King mountain on the other. You've got the Black Rock Forest, and then you've got the state park on the other side. And we're like, oh my God, this is like heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And so we came. We sent actually Amy's mom to go check out the place. We were living in Seattle. And
so you had someone go scouting the location.
Yeah, go
Can
scout.
you look at Cornwall, see if there's any good just.
And got some names of some real estate agents, and started looking on Zillow and everything. And and so that was kind of our story. So I don't know. Was that your original question? I think your question was, what is it about?
Yeah.
Right. So I think it is. It's all those things. Like, we love the outdoors, and you've got plenty of that here. We wanted to also, because we love being able to walk to go do things, walk to a restaurant or walk to go get ice cream, walking to the parks.
The Storm King Art Center, which is one of a kind, like right here. So.
Yeah. And then you've got the cultural experiences with like you said, the Storm King Art Center. We're 90 minutes from Manhattan. We've got the river. So you're right. There's so much here. And then we just got this beautiful bedroom community with walkable streets, parks, safe places for your kids to.
It's a great place. I don't know what more people don't know about it. And not that we want to make it overcrowded here, but there's a lot of really good businesses that we want them to thrive. So by speaking about Cornwall and how wonderful it is, hopefully you can bring some of the tourism here to try to help some of those businesses thrive a little bit more. If you had to, being a chamber president, what would be one tip that you would give someone who's coming either to live here or you start a business here? One little tidbit of advice, like, hey, if you come here, get a local contractor or make sure you get engaged with the local government. What do you think are some of the good tips to people when they're coming here to try to start a business?
So I think, and you got to engage with the community right away. If you're going to start a business here in the community of Cornwall, you got to engage with the community, the whole community, right? So, whether that's with the chamber or with the town or with local businesses, you need to engage with the community. That's the number one piece of advice that I would give to them, right? And it did it for my business, right? Is get engaged, and because then you're going to get the resources that you're going to need, right? Because to your point, like some people say, sometimes it may feel challenging to get a business up and running in Cornwall. But if you're engaging with the community, you're going to find the right resources that are going to help you overcome some of those barriers, right? Or people who have been down that road before, and they can help you anticipate potential barriers.
No, I totally agree with you. I think communication when it comes to starting a business here in Cornwall is key. There's been so many projects that have died because people just don't communicate with the project is going to be thoroughly. And it's a very protective community. It's a community made out of families, and they want to make sure that the reasons why they moved here, they stay true to the culture and the feel of Cornwall. So when you are starting a business, getting out to the community and telling them, hey, this is who I am, this is what we're doing, these are the reasons why we're doing it, I think is key, and it helps a lot of people navigate some of those tricky waters when they're first starting out doing something here. Cool. So thank you. Do you have it? Is there anything you want to talk about?
No, this has been great. I think it would be great to see other businesses have the opportunity to maybe kind of share what they're going through or share the work that they're working on. So this is a great platform, I think, and I'd love to see you do more things like this across the wider community.
Appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. Hopefully, maybe we will. Maybe we'll sit down and talk a little with more business owners around the area, and they can tell us, what they think. If you're interested in seeing that kind of stuff, make sure to let us know on the social media. Go on our channels, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all those things. Scott, thank you so much for coming out today. Thank you for talking to us, taking the time to just dive deep into what makes the chamber tick, what makes you tick, what makes the community tick. And hopefully we'll keep this going, and you can come back and tell us more about wonderful things that you have going on with the chamber and everything. So thank you.
Thanks, Oscar. Appreciate it.
Thank you.